That being said, going to Manchester United now. Is where to start, dog. Is where to start with Manchester United because
You need a whole podcast.
yeah, boy. I mean, literally, and I really love these conversations though. 3 different people asked me this weekend if I could fix United, what I would do, and I like that people think that I would have the answers to that. But I think it's so deep rooted, and I think that one of the biggest mistakes that United have made is that they have give Erik Ten Haag full autonomy over the transfers. And while I 1000% think that managers should have a say in the transfers that they make in terms of the personnel that they bring in, I think that they need guidance in terms of, okay, yes, they want this style of player, but he won't really suit the league or suit the football or suit this stage in your development of this team.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the biggest examples of that is signing Lautaro Martinez to play Lisandro, at centre back, and as well as in terms of the players he's been targeting, like Frankie de Jong. And that's not a snipe on Frankie or anything, by the way, because I think he's a class player would improve nearly every side in the world at his best. But when you look at what I consider Klopp and Arteta's foundation is to be in terms of the years that they made signings to lay the foundation to get the project really going for them, they made like 6 signings. Yeah. And on the 6, none of them, except for Ben White, and obviously that's like, with inflation and stuff like that, cost 50 million. I think on the Klopp, the most was 35 million, and I believe that was Mane, right? It's a bunch of signings that, they might not be the flashiest, but they're the right profiles to suit the league, to suit for you to lay the foundation for your project. And I think that Ten Hag needed some guidance in doing that. We also have seen him with reluctance to use the new signing Malacia in the side, but yet Luke Shaw is a problem.
Yeah.
So then why are you buying for? Because you use money to get him. And I think that he could have used a little bit more guidance like that. When Klopp did it, he signed Wijnaldum, signed Robertson, he signed Mane. 3 of these were teams that finished lower than them by far, actually. Newcastle literally stayed up that year because of Gini. Robertson went down. And when Mane was a mid-table player at Southampton, although I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, he had potential to be fantastic even then. And a bunch of other players, right? Arsenal signed Ramsdale, who was relegated. Signed Odegaard, who was decent at best during his loan spell at Arsenal, never settled anywhere. We signed Ben White from Brighton. Similar-ish signings when you now think about it and you hear it out loud in terms of where they went to recruit, but to do mass recruitment in order to lay a foundation for the football you want to play, and you build on that going forward. And for what is wood, Klopp Liverpool that year came fourth, I came fourth, if I'm not mistaken, within like the last 3 or 4 games of the season. So it's not even like to say he recruited and had this big blow up one time, but they got over the line. Arteta's own missed the line by 2 points, and by their own fault, it was in their hands, whatever. But we see similarities in the progression. I know I'm talking long here.
No, go through.
But with United now, he's still using the same players. They are not getting through their transfers. And I also think it's because they're targeting the wrong people. Target players, I would see United as a step up. Target players that is not a sideways move or even a downward move. In the case of like Frankie de Jong and case of players like at one point there was linked to Harry Kane and stuff like that. Get players who would be eager to come and play for you because they need that step up in their career and lay a foundation and go again. For example, somebody like Lisandro, rate him technically a lot. And you said yourself that you think you would only have really been a success in this league really for Manchester City. For Manchester City, right? Because of how much they hold the ball. Lisandro to me is the sign that you make it 3 seasons in to your project or 2 seasons in when you're done laying the foundation. But you bring him in while the team is still haphazard. I know teams are targeting him because your defense is weak and his lack of physicality can be exposed as well. And the result against Brentford had a lot of individual errors, but football is also about forcing errors out to your opponents. And I think one of the best examples is new recruit Eriksen, who I rate highly, tried the same thing twice.
Yeah, that was
and got exposed. Exactly.
Stupidness.
So it's not even just to say like, it was a bad decision. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was trying to do that, and he tried it twice and got exposed. The hair on the first one, the corner, but whatever it is, you can always make excuses. But if the players are there to be exposed for their mistakes, oppositions will expose them, and that's the simple truth about it. So I will stop my little talk here.
You can go through, you know.
And you can tell me what you think about this whole United situation and what he's done right, what he's done wrong, that kind of thing.
Well, I don't want to say the same thing that you say. I agree with almost everything that you say there. Think one of the things that stand out in while I was talking about Klopp and Pep's initial equipment is they initially go and recruit from within the league. I think that's something Ten Hag could have looked to do, or somebody should have advised him, because the nice thing about recruiting within the league in the first couple of years is that there's no break-in period. Yes, the players move into a different club, but they're already accustomed to the physicality and the demands and the ins and outs of the league already now. You know, so there's much less acclimatization to occur. So a player basically get to work immediately. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go out and say, well, they should have buy this one and that one and that one. But I do think that they should have tried to look within the league a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's the model in which they went out with. I just think it's the wrong model at this time.
Yeah, I mean, it also had a couple decent players that just got relegated to. You might have been able to get them for cheap.
Yeah.
They could have maybe make a try for Charleston since he was looking to get out Everton like that. Yeah. There are a couple of players that they could have looked for, right? I also agree with you that Lisandro was probably a little bit of a mistake looking back on it. Especially if he was asking him to play centre back. Now, if he was bringing him in to be a DM, I think there's a better chance of success, right? Yeah, totally different conversation. But centre back, I mean, so far he's had to deal with Ivan Toney trying to break his nose. And
Danny Welbeck, who run him ragged.
Welbeck, yeah. So, I mean, it's not really been the greatest start for him.
And look, I know he has Lisandro in particular has a difficult, playing next to Maguire and these men, right?
Yeah.
But he also not making it easy for himself either. It's not like to say he is playing well amongst a sinking ship. It's not like that. No. He literally tried his best to give you a penalty against Brighton last week.
Yeah.
You know, and he kind of, because of how aggressive he is, he kind of gets pulled out of position somewhat easy because he so wants to go and get on the ball and stuff like that. And I think that's a subconscious thing where he tries to make up for the fact that he's not the biggest player. So he tries to impose himself kind of early.
I don't know. I feel like that's just an Ajax thing. Remember, he was playing with a team that was playing dominant football. Plenty, right? So the couple of times that, think about, similar to what we see with City, right? Yeah. Is that when a turnover does happen and you finally do beat the press, right?
Yeah.
Now it's usually somebody in acres of space, so you want to go and close them down immediately, right? And that's what he would have been doing at Ajax for a long time. So I think that's just, and that was his developmental years as well. So I don't really think it's a short man thing. I think it's just where the system he used to play in before is the total opposite of
the next issue comes with then is that like Ajax is basically the Man City of Holland.
That's what I'm saying, is the total opposite of his current system. He gets some traits to adapt to that system. Now he comes in the total opposite one and it's different.
And I think now the gauntlet is thrown to Ten Hag's feet in the case of like, okay, can you adapt to stop the ship from sinking? You know? Can you find an answer that does not mean that you go to your plan A? Your plan A is clearly working because the players can't do it. They didn't get all the players they wanted. Fair enough. It don't happen. Ten Hag, that happens to a lot of managers, even the best in the world. You know, for example, Klopp wanted Jude Bellingham this summer and he got told flat out, no. You don't always get the players you want. Literally, unless you are Real Madrid, you have to deal with the fact that sometimes players don't come. And even Real Madrid got rejected this year by Mbappe, right? It happens to everybody. You have to adapt. You have to be able to adapt your tactics as well. And again, while I don't think, though, that Arteta has been perfect or, it's all been smooth sailing and we've seen so much rough, what he did, especially after we no longer had an attacking midfielder because Ozil got outcasted and all that stuff, is that he literally changed the entire system. When he now came in, we was playing 4-2-3-1. When COVID happened and we came back out and we didn't have the attacking midfielder again, he adapted, switched to the 3-4-3 formation that we was running for a while and literally won the FA Cup because of that. But not only that, but he also stopped the rot. He also stopped us from conceding, maximized the players he had. Does Ten Hag now have that in his locker now? And I'm not saying, run to the 3-4-3. However, I do 3 at the back would help a lot with the players that they have right now because you simply just want to stop the rot. Stop the sliding backwards, gain a little foothold in the league because the truth is, it's not looking up right now. And I don't actually think that there's real comparisons between them losing their first two and Arsenal losing their first three last year. Because I think the difference is that there were clear targets that Arsenal was still bringing in. We have no idea if United really going to bring in anybody else besides Rabiot, and nobody really think that improvement.
You got to make a difference, right?
Yeah. As well as Arsenal had 4 COVID cases and 4 players out injured last year during this run because, Gabriel didn't play, Martinelli had now come back from what it was, the Olympics, Orba and all these men had COVID. Exactly. So there was more mitigating circumstances then. Yeah. Compared to now, United have their full squad. There's their full team there, and it doesn't look up right now. So would you switch to Triadi back, or would you say continue what he's doing?
For United, it all depends on how confident he is to coach our Triadi back, to implement a decent system with it. I mean, it look easy on face value, right? But I'm not a coach. I don't really know the ins and outs of switching your structure like that, right?
Yeah.
At face value, though, it look like they have nice players to do it. So if you want to go ahead and do it, I mean, shit. Yeah, do Ten Hag, if you're watching me right now, yeah, do something, dog. Like, yeah, do something. That's working. Wow.
More so on the game then, because we are literally 26 minutes and I only talk about 2 games so far.
That always do it.
More so on the game, Ivan Toney, bro. I have been preaching about how good I think this player is for the longest while, bro. And I think that it is somewhat criminal that he's still at Brentford. And that is not disrespectful to Brentford. But when you look at, Chelsea could use a striker, Manchester United could use a striker, Arsenal were in the market for a striker this summer, Liverpool as well. All these teams were looking for forwards and nobody picked up Ivan. I think that is actually criminal. Or do you think I'm overrating him?
Nah, you're not overrating him. He's good, pretty good. I don't know why it is that teams don't go for certain players. I mean, it's very similar to the Van der Beek situation.
I think it's somewhat shiny. Like, he's within the league, so he's not really a shiny toy. And, with the striker situation, you kind of want somebody that, raises enthusiasm and gets you hyped and stuff like that.
I guess, yeah.
And somebody like that signing from Brentford don't really, light people's eyes on fire, I guess, actually. But, to be fair, United's last successful striker signing, that was to me, it was an outright success outside of Ronaldo, even though I still think Ronaldo was somewhat a success. It's Cavani. And Cavani didn't come with no flash because he literally came on a free on deadline day. And it wasn't some way that most people was after, that kind of thing, because of his age. And I think that he got the most out of the teams, the players he had around him.
Yeah.
So maybe the option is to go for somebody a little less flashy and stuff like that. You look at the pass that he played to Mwembo at the weekend. You look at his ability to hold up and link play. He's a decent finisher in him as well. Look, I think that when you compare, Kai missing the opportunity at the weekend, United literally have nobody besides Ronaldo who doesn't even want to be there to play strike. I definitely think that they should be looking at him.
They should, but I don't know if they will do that.
They won't.
I really don't know if they will do that.